passing the ball, how to hunt safely.
Nice look inside, and Vegas Davis can't get it to go, but Cisse has to foul on the follow-up. Cisse will pick up the personal foul, and Torrey Harris will step to the free throw line.
Ole Miss likes to man-to-man the out-of-bounds, and the backdoor cut here by Davis opened up the offensive rebound for Torrey Harris. But the man-to-man defense worked against Ole Miss that time. A lot of teams like to zone out-of-bounds plays to prevent just such a layup opportunity as Tennessee just got.
Torrey Harris, a poor foul shooter at 47%, and that will drop unless he can make this one. I guess when you're at 47, make one or two, you're liking things.
Yeah. I guess he'd take 50 and go home, wouldn't he?
Torrey Harris, 3.6 points, 4.3 rebounds, and that free throw percentage will increase after a 1 for 2 at the charity stripe.
You see the zone press on after the made free throw, which is very common here in Tennessee.
Cisse should have taken the shot. He had it wide open, wanted to go baseline, saw a hole, and probably thought about that highlight reel.
Well, even the best players in college basketball are human. Cisse with a mistake.
Cisse can shoot the 3 now. He's knocked down 6 of them this year.
Likes to take it to the basket, though.
Wharton kicks it back out to Lee. Lee shot no good. Lockhart with a rebound. Flanagan kicks it up to Cisse. Working on Victor on the baseline. His fall away too strong. Rebound by Harris. Here comes Tennessee. Finally got a game that they like. That's up tempo. Lee goes inside.
That guy right there, Rashard Lee, has been the big play guy for Tennessee the last 4 games. He's been in double figures. Very good athlete, off the dribble, likes to take it to the lane. And you saw his ability right there, Rashard Lee, a junior out of Durham, North Carolina.
Ole Miss will call a timeout. It was 12-2, but Tennessee has closed the gap to 14-9.
And against defensive pressure, attack the basket on the dribble. That not only gives you good looks like you saw Lee get there, but it also gives you a chance to get to the free throw line. Nice play, and Lee at 6'6" used his athletic ability to get up over the defense and find the basket.
Tennessee now 3 of 13 from the floor, 23%. Ole Miss at 6 for 13, 46%.
Rashard Lee in their last game against Auburn came off the bench and scored 20 in the second half, had an outstanding game, and he's kind of the instant offense for Tennessee that Jozon Darby is for Ole Miss. 1-3-1 half-court trap. Jerry Green continues to change defenses.
Carter kicks it out inside to Lockhart. And he gets fouled by Torrey Harris. That'll be his second personal foul. Let's take a look at some other scores from around the Southeastern Conference. That one went to overtime.
Wow.
We knew that was going to be a good one.
What a ball game.
Kentucky wins in up 80-77, and a dandy of a ball game. And there's a good win for the LSU program.
Well, it really is, Dave. That's the first road win for LSU in over 2 years. John Brady really doing a good job in Baton Rouge.
Mississippi State falls to 1-3 in league play. Vanderbilt, a winner at home, 77-73.
I think Vanderbilt ought to get some consideration for the top 25. You know, I was looking today, if Florida State at 12-4 is in the top 20, Vanderbilt right now with that win today, that puts them at 14-4. And to me, with their 3 seniors, they're every bit as good as some of the other teams in the top 25.
Lee with a long three-pointer. Lee, a 37% three-point shooter, knocks it down, and that makes it a 3-point basketball game under 10 to play. Darby will pull it back. White back in the basketball game. Carter cuts to the hole. Off the glass, Cisse with the offensive board. Misses the dunk. And Lee pulls down the rebound to Wharton. Loses the handle. So does Wharton. And Vegas Davis with it. Lee for another 3. Rolls around and counts. We're tied at 15. And Rashard Lee is putting on an offensive clinic here in the last couple of minutes with 8 points. the Tennessee faithful to their feet, looking for another defensive stop. Remember, they trail 12-2 out of the gate. Lockhart misses. Davis the rebound.
Tennessee's running again. They want to push it. Let's see if they look for Lee again. Keith Carter is defending Rashard Lee, but they're setting screens for him.
Tennessee now on a 13-3 run over the last 6 minutes and 10 seconds. Lee for another three, looking for a foul. Didn't get it. They will still have the basketball. They say it was touched by an Ole Miss Rebel. But Rashard Lee has been an offensive machine. Just what the doctor ordered. You know, he averages 8 points a game in the regular season in non-conference games, but 17 in SEC contests. He's on that pace again. The two with about 12 minutes to go in the first half, but since then Tennessee has been on fire, basically because of Rashard Lee, who has been an offensive machine lately in the SEC.
But we talked about the tenacity of the Ole Miss defense, and against that type of pressure man-to-man, you've either got to find easy baskets, which Tennessee's had a hard time, or shoot over the defense, which Rashard Lee has been doing.
That'll be a foul against Michael White, as Brandon Wharton works hard, gets his own rebound off the miss. And there is Lee, who is taking a breather.
He won't be there very long, I can assure you of that.
The junior out of Durham, North Carolina. That'll send Wharton to the free throw line. Wharton misses the front end of the free throw, but another offensive board for the Volunteers. And Cisse comes over the back, and he'll be whistled for the personal foul.
Well, the thing that Tennessee's been able to do tonight, Dave, is they've been able to match rebounding with Ole Miss. We talked about how good Ole Miss is on the boards, but look at Black. He's such a big load in there. Good help by Cisse, but really you should stay and just trap in that situation. Cisse tried to get the steal. We talked about the rebounding. Ole Miss, #1 in the SEC in rebound margin, but tonight Tennessee leads in that category 15-9, and that's a big reason why Jerry Green's team is in this ball game and right now ahead in the game.
C.J. Black makes both free throws. He now has 6 points, and he's perfect from the charity stripe at 4 for 4, and it's a 2-point Tennessee game.
Jerry Green trying to turn up the tempo with his defensive pressure. Wants Ole Miss to speed up, take quick shots so they can run the other way and find some cheap baskets.
Sewell doing a nice job on White. And White throws it out of bounds. Was it touched by a Tennessee player? Yes, it was. It'll be Ole Miss basketball with 15 on the shot clock.
Actually bounced off of Brandon Wharton's back, but good defensive pressure right there by Anthony Sewell. Just a walk-on. Number 12 has earned a scholarship here at Tennessee with his hard work and aggressive defense.
White finds Darby, lays it up, no good. In and out, 2 tips at it for Lockhart. Tennessee gets the rebound. Wharton pushes it up ahead. Pass off the backboard, a good break. Victor tries to hurry up and in, and he does. A weird sequence of plays.
Well, the crowd hadn't been used to watching Tennessee run the last few years, but this fast-paced, fast-breaking offense, as you see, opens up offensive opportunities. And easy baskets as Isaiah Victor just put it down for the Vols.
White having trouble handling the basketball the last couple of trips down against Sewell. Smith. Oh, nice move right to the rack, and he slams it.
Rob Evans loves Jason Smith. Says he absolutely hates to lose. As tough a competitor as there is in this league, or maybe in America. And he made a big basket there for the Ole Miss Rebels.
That quieted the crowd. Ole Miss still down by 2. Foul inside will go against Jason Smith.
Ole Miss very physical with their defense. In the low post, they've been playing one-on-one for the most part. That has a tendency to put a lot of pressure on your low post defense. Anthony Boone, again, we've mentioned several times, is out with a knee injury. And Ole Miss is not the same defensively inside without him.
That's a second personal foul on Smith. Isaiah Victor misses the free throw. Rashard Lee comes back in. Sewell, who had a nice couple of minutes defending Michael Smith.
He gets a well-deserved hand from the crowd here. It's nice when you can see a walk-on come in and really contribute. He's earned a scholarship. Jerry Green gave it to him, and that's nice. That's what college athletics is all about.
Well, he really did a number on White. He's a tremendous ball handler, and White had trouble finding any opportunities. Darby breaks the press. Lockhart, scoop shot, no good. Here comes Davis.
Great defense.
The steal by Keith Carter. Kicks it outside. Darby for three. The high arcing shot, short. Darby with a rebound. Kicks it out. Between his legs. That three is good. You knew he was in rhythm.
That's big time right there, Dave Neal. Between the legs from Treyland. They call that string music in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Great looking shot by Jozon Darby. We're tied at 20. The long three from Lee off the front of the iron. Darby with a rebound. A lob pass inside to Smith. Probably not a wise decision.
Now, Rob Evans doesn't like that. He loves Michael White, but he doesn't like those kind of high-risk passes. He's made 2 of them now. But these guys, these Ole Miss Rebels, they have a lot of confidence in themselves. They have been together. The starting lineup for Ole Miss and the 6-man Jozon Darby have played together now going on their 3rd consecutive year. Western Division champs in the SEC last year, 20-win season. They have high hopes for championship run this year, and they play with a lot of confidence and consequently try to make some high-risk plays.
Jerry Green doing a lot of substituting. Only has 9 players in uniform. Baker inside. Moore just checked in. Torrey Harris nowhere to go. Here comes Michael White. The bounce pass to Darby. We'll pull it back out. The three from White. Off the front of the iron. Only one Ole Miss player under the glass.
Tennessee's done a good job tonight on the boards, blocking out on the defensive boards and crashing the offensive boards.
Great block shot by Johnny Rogers. A long pass ahead to Darby. In the corner, he knocked a three down a minute ago from that same spot. Jozon Darby. Back-to-back threes, and Ole Miss leads by 3.
He does not start, but his reward for being a great 6-man, give him the green light, turn him loose. He's probably the best clutch shooter for the Ole Miss Rebels.
Darby has 3 as Smith picks up the personal foul. Jason Smith.
But we talked about him earlier, between the legs, but look at this, between the legs, off the dribble, under pressure, knocks it down. That's a big-time shot by that senior right there. He likes it.
Well, he's 3rd on the Ole Miss three-point list with now 105 three-pointers. Keith Carter is 2nd on that Ole Miss three-point list.
You know, we talk about Tennessee running and pushing the ball down the floor, but Ole Miss has been doing the same thing. And as we said earlier, they lead the SEC in scoring at about 85 points a game. The perception of Ole Miss is that they're more of a half-court team, but Rob Evans has them running more this year.
This would be a different story if Tennessee could knock down some free throws. They are 6 of 12 from the free throw line here in the first half.
Rob Evans has just gone over the 500 mark in wins at Ole Miss. He's 76 and 75. And you say, well, that doesn't sound all that great, but the last 8 coaches at Ole Miss have all had losing records.
The offensive rebound by Black. Once again, Tennessee working hard on the offensive end of the court. They've had 2 or 3 shots at it about nearly every trip down the floor tonight. And they will retain possession, open to get this thing within 1 or tie it up at 23. 4:01 to play in the opening half from Thompson Bowling Arena. 11th ranked Ole Miss Rebels in a battle tonight. Carter checking Lee. Off to Ward. Thought about the 3. Will spin from the free throw line. Throw up the awkward shot. There'll be a foul against C.J. Black as he got tangled up with Johnny Rogers inside. Those two worked hard in the paint. Those two big men were really doing some battle down there.
Talk about blocking off the defensive board. Look at this. Johnny Rogers on the block out. Big C.J. Black is a physical force inside.
We got a timeout on the floor. 3:46 to play in the first half. Ole Miss by 3. We got a timeout on the floor. 3:46 to play in the first half. At 3-0, 12-1 overall, but they've got a battle on their hands today. But this guy, Jozon Darby, has stepped it up here in the first half. Has knocked down back-to-back threes for Ole Miss's last 6 points, and he is quickly approaching his average.
Young man out of Jackson, Mississippi. He went to Cali County Community College out in Kansas, which is one of the tougher junior college leagues in the country. Played well there, came back home to the state of Mississippi, and he's been a big part of the resurgence of this Ole Miss Rebel program.
Wharton making White extend nearly back to the half-court line. Carter with a high arching shot, no good. Carter been quiet here after a couple of early buckets. Inside it goes, Victor. And he's fouled by John Cantrell and will step to the line hoping to complete the three-point play.
I tell you, the cut across the lane by Victor was so impressive to get himself open. Look at him sit down low and then extend up over John Cantrell. That's great fundamental work inside by Isaiah Victor, 6'9" freshman, second-year freshman out of Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Victor now with 6 points, and we're tied again at 23. Approaching 3 minutes to play here in the opening half. Carter behind the arc. That's off the mark. He gets his own rebound. Kicks it out to Darby. You know he'll shoot it, and you know he'll make it. That's 3 straight threes for Jozon.
All from the left side of the floor, and a good assist from Keith Carter.
Nearly stripped away by Darby. Lee up top. He's made a couple of threes as well. Carter with a rebound. Michael White pushes it up the floor quickly. Darby for his 4th three, no good.
When you feel it, turn it loose. Jozon Darby missed that one, but Rob Evans would want him to take those shots when he's got that hot hand.
I think they call that the old heat check. I think that was the heat check right there. C.J. Black spins in on Rogers off the glass. Nice move by C.J. And it's back to a 1-point basketball game.
Well, Ole Miss has decided defensively to just play isolation one-on-one against Black in the low post and stay out on their perimeter pressure. A little bit surprising, but so far it's been effective.
Darby nearly stripped by Vegas Davis. Off to White. 1:40 to play here in the opening half. Darby tries to go baseline, but it goes off his foot, and we'll go the other way with it.
But watch the isolation, one-on-one, Black against Rogers. Black got him about 30 or 40 pounds, and he uses that muscle inside to get the basket.
Man has 8 points, tied with Rashard Lee for the team lead. Both have 8.
C.J. Black came out of Brainerd High School in Chattanooga, Tennessee, one of the better high school programs in Tennessee. Robert High is high school coach. They do a great job down there.
Actually led all freshmen last year in the SEC in scoring, 11.5 points a game. Of course, making the all-SEC freshman team. There he is up top. Off to Sewell, who's back in the game. Wharton trying to find some offense. Off the glass. The scoop shot off the window. Nice job, Brandon Wharton.
Well, Brandon Wharton has been the off guard with Tony Harris in the lineup, but probably feels more comfortable with the basketball. And you saw an indication of that right there. Beautiful drive and layup.
White kicks it out. Cantrell, one of the better three-point shooters on this team, which is loaded with them, misfires. Sewell hauls it down. Lee gets trapped by Carter. Off to Wharton. 40 seconds to play in the opening half. Tennessee with a 1-point lead. C.J. Turner partially blocked inside by Rogers. Off CJ, and it'll be back to Ole Miss basketball.
Well, the thing that's so impressive about Brandon Wharton is his ability to drive with his offhand, his right hand. Watch him. He's a left-handed player, but he takes it with the right hand and gets it up high on the glass. Nice athletic ability there by Brandon Wharton.
C.J. Black was whistled for the hack on the baseline. That'll send Cantrell to the free throw line for Ole Miss with 31.7 seconds remaining in the opening half. C.J. will take a break, as will Torrey Harris. That'll send Cantrell to the free throw line for the first time tonight.
John Cantrell's dad, Dennis, played basketball at Vanderbilt for a year and is currently the president of the Spirit Express basketball team, which is a Christian basketball team, goes around in the preseason and plays exhibition games against various college teams out of Memphis, Tennessee.
John is 6'8", solid outside shooter, and remarkable that he missed that free throw. He's 15 of 17 from the line coming into tonight, an 88% free throw shooter, misses the front end of a 1-and-1. Shot clock is turned off with 30 seconds left to play. Opening half from Knoxville.
Jerry Green couldn't imagine any better scenario with 30 seconds to go in the first half than to have a 1-point lead and the basketball.
We're under 10 seconds. Wharton up top, guarded by Darby. Tries to break down Darby one-on-one, misses the shot. It's an air ball, but Victor steals it, throws it up at the buzzer. No good. Nonetheless, Tennessee, despite not having 4 key players in the lineup tonight, they're in street clothes on the bench watching the basketball game. They're going to the locker room with a 1-point lead over the 11th-ranked Ole Miss Rebels. It is 27-26. C.J. Black and Rashard Lee leading the way for the Volunteers at 8 points apiece, and Jozon Darby, who has knocked down 3 trays, leads the Rebels with 11. We'll come back to Knoxville and have our halftime activities. Tennessee leads Ole Miss by 1. Thompson Bowling Arena. Right now, the Tennessee Volunteers are giving Ole Miss all they want and more. The 11th-ranked Rebels trailing by 1. We are at halftime. 27-26 is our halftime score. Well, it was a tough break. Here's about what life is like here in Knoxville as the new man on the block.
We felt so warm coming back to the southeast that I really can't describe it. And I think we've got everything here. Great climate, great fan support. I'm so amazed at the University of Tennessee because it's almost like taking a professional school and adding a land-grant college university to the professional school. We've got it all, it seems like. All the majors, everything that you would need that anybody would want to come to a university for is right here at the University of Tennessee. But the biggest is the reception. We've really been made warm and welcome and encouraged to make the University of Tennessee better. I'm not going anywhere else from the University of Tennessee. I've been in this thing almost 30 years now, and not many of us ever get out and get through college basketball and retire gracefully, and I'd like to do that. To do that, I've got to rebuild this program, though, and it won't be easy. The biggest battle that we've got here is convincing young men who are not accustomed to winning to teach them how to win, and the belief that they can win. You have to be good. You've got to have good players. You've got to have good support. And again, that one bullet answer is not ever going to fit into a rebuilding job that exists like the University of Tennessee. Well, I think one of the things that we try to do is to sell ideas to young men, not only to teach them the X's and O's, but also teach them the intrinsic values. When you step to a line, you've got to be confident. You've not only got to have paid the price to practice that free throw so many thousands of times. And it really is amazing. An average player in college will only play about 120 basketball games a year. 4 of those are in their career. For those 120 games, they'll practice maybe 400 times while they're in that university. But they start that from a very, very young age, preparing themselves for their high school games and for their college games, and to think we only have 120 of them is not very many. But the intrinsic values, when they walk to the line to say, hey, this is an idea that you may want to think about that will help you. The thing that I want from them is when they leave here, I want it to be a positive experience, and it not only works that way by winning basketball games and by graduating, but I'd like for them to think of themselves as a better person. Also, that they've got an extended family. We'll never be able to replace the mother. We'll never be able to replace the father, but we certainly can be an extended part of their family, one that they can rely on now or 25 years from now.
These days in Bowling Arena getting set for some more SEC basketball. And right now the 11th ranked Rebels having a battle on their hands, facing the Tennessee Volunteers and trailing at intermission 27-26. Dave Neal along with Joe Dean, and we were at halftime. And Joe, quickly your thoughts on the first half and what transpired over the first 20 minutes.
Dave, it was just a war out here defensively. Both teams very tough. Both teams shooting around 31, 32%. And the rebounding is the key. Tennessee leads on the boards 24-18 against the #1 rebounding team in the SEC.
Let's take a look at some of those numbers, and you'll see why Tennessee, actually some of those highlights, and you'll see.
Well, the guy right there, Ansu Cisse, that's one of the few baskets. That's actually the only basket he's had for Ole Miss. He's a great player. This guy's really lit it up for the Rebels. Jozon Darby from downtown.
Darby, 3 of 5 from behind the arc. This guy, though, got Tennessee back in at Rashard Lee.
Yeah, he's done the job. He's their leading scorer in the SEC, Rashard Lee, and he's doing it again tonight against Ole Miss. But the guy inside, C.J. Black, really uses his strength and his power inside against Johnny Rogers from Ole Miss.
Here are those first half stats. Neither team shooting the ball very well. It's expected that Tennessee would shoot poorly because Ole Miss has the best opponent's field goal percentage in the league. 3-point shooting, 3 of 10 and 2 of 7. Anything stick out on that first page?
Well, again, the defense against the field goal is the key statistic. 34% for Ole Miss, 31 for Tennessee, and it's just a war out here defensively.
Well, in terms of rebounds, Tennessee leads in that category, and on the offensive boards, they lead 9-5 as well. Second shot opportunities are one of the reasons Tennessee is back in this. But turnovers, both are easy. Both are even at 8 and 8 in points off turnovers. 13 for Ole Miss and 6 for Tennessee. We'll come back, have second half basketball for you from Knoxville. The Volunteers lead it by 1.
Inside Thompson Bowling Arena, Tennessee by 1 over Ole Miss, 27-26. Ansu Cisse, certainly a guy, Joe, that needs to pick it up here offensively for this Rebel team.
Only 1 field goal and 2 rebounds in the first half. That's un-Cisse-like, and I'm sure that he's going to try to step it up here in the second half.
Black. Quick shot, no good. Gets the offensive board. That's 10 offensive boards now for Tennessee, but they couldn't put it away. Quickly comes Ole Miss. Smith throws it straight up in the air. Wharton comes away with it. Some sloppy ball here to start the second half. Lee inside the arc, no good. Black with a big follow off the iron, no good. Rebound to Johnny Rogers. Cisse, good look inside to Rogers. He's hacked and will step to the free throw line. And Terry Harris picks up the personal foul.
One of the great assets of Ansu Cisse is his ability to find open cutters in the Ole Miss motion offense. Everybody keys on him. They think he's going to shoot the 3 or drive it to the goal, but he's so tall at 6'9", he can see over defenses and find cutters, as he did that time to Johnny Rogers.
Rogers connects from the free throw line. Rogers' first trip to the foul line tonight.
Now, he's a young man that's an interesting story because he transferred to Ole Miss from Jackson State. An excellent student, wanted to go to Ole Miss for academic reasons. He's a computer science major, and Rob Evans says a very, very good student.
Nice little pickup for Rob Evans. Johnny Rogers, a vital player in this Ole Miss machine. Ole Miss back with the lead, up by 1. Lee penetrates. Nice high arcing shot off bounds for Rashard Lee. He has now 10 points on the night.
Tennessee really looks confident in the second half, Dave. They're up 1 against the 11th ranked team in the country, and I'm sure Jerry Green told them at halftime, hey, fellas, we can beat this team. We're just as good as they are. And they're coming out fired up here in the second half as well.
Carter, 3 of 9 in the first half, trying to get something going. That won't fall for him. Lee with a rebound, up to Wharton. Has White to beat, pulls it back to Lee. Takes it inside, another off-balance shot. This one is shooting the offensive board to Black, and he's fouled.
Rashard Lee has led Tennessee in scoring in the SEC season. You see why off the left-hand dribble at 6'6", he gets up high and gets a good look at the basket and has excellent touch.
He averages 8.2 points a game overall, but in the conference, which amounts to 3 games, he's averaging 17 points a night and 7.3 rebounds. And tonight he has 10 to lead everybody on the volunteer staff.
And Dave, the reason C.J. Black is at the foul line is because Tennessee continues to push the ball in transition. When you run the ball down the floor and shoot it quick in the offense, it gives your offensive rebounders good position, and Black got in there that time.
Well, Black connects on that free throw, matching Lee for the team high of 10 points. And Lockhart back in the game for Ole Miss as Johnny Rogers takes a seat.
And Lockhart's in for one reason. He's a bigger body, stronger than Johnny Rogers to contend with C.J. Black.
Tennessee has done a nice job defensively tonight. Nearly get a steal there. Kick it out to Carter. Guarded by Lee. Carter, nice crossover dribble. Threw that off the glass, hoping somebody would get it, and Lockhart did. The Tennessee 1-point lead. 17:50 to play, second half. Loose basketball at the free throw line. Vegas Davis' knee is tangled up, and his face definitely showed some pain. I hope Vegas is all right.
Well, that picture right there epitomizes what's going on here in this game tonight. Just a war on the floor. 2 teams that are battling defensively, going to the glass. Jerry Green's got his team ready to play. Rob Evans has his team ready to play, and it's just a hard-fought Southeastern Conference basketball game.
Possession arrow favoring Ole Miss. They will have the basketball. And, you know, we talked about the open a little bit. It's like this Tennessee team is backed up against the wall. They got nothing to lose here tonight. 11th ranked team in the country, 12-1 record. They're losing 4 players, and 3 of which are almost 4, you could say, are starters.
You see another good defensive play there by Brandon Wharton. But Dave, you bring up a good point. This is a key game for Tennessee because it's at home. They have a chance, obviously, to win this. They go on the road for 2 more games against South Carolina and Arkansas.
Take a look at some action away from the basketball, and they are banging inside. This is a very physical game. Tennessee leads it by 1. Lee. Nice dumping pass, knocked away by Cisse. The long 3 from Brandon Wharton. That's off the mark. Thought it was fouled by White. No call. Here comes Ole Miss. There's Cisse. Crowd wanted to travel. Cisse with a circus shot. No good. I got circus for anybody else but Ansu. That's in his repertoire. Vegas Davis running back hard, and he's fouled by Keith Carter. And Carter will pick up his 3rd personal foul.
But Dave, just another indication of fast-breaking basketball, pushing it down the floor. When you attack the basket with speed and aggressiveness, positive things happen. You either get to the foul line or you have an opportunity to get to the offensive board.
Hey, come on, Blue.
Davis tonight has yet to score. He's 0 for 3 from the floor, and his first foul shot is on the way. That is no good.
Vegas Davis at 6'3", he's out of Parker, Arizona, was a high school center that had to come to Tennessee and transform his game from the front court to the back court. He's worked very hard on the skills of his game and made a lot of improvement here at Tennessee.
Well, Joey had 23 points, 5 of 7 from behind the arc on his 20th birthday against Southern California. Not a bad way to celebrate birthday number 20. 2-point Tennessee lead. Carter Off the glass, good move, Keith Carter. He has been quiet, but he kisses it off the glass. He now has 8.
You can't keep him quiet for long. He's a great offensive player, and Ole Miss looks to him. He's very aggressive, and I know he wants to step up here in the second half.
Wharton takes White to the paint. And Wharton will now challenge White, as White has really done a number. These two guys have gone at it defensively tonight as hard as you will find any two going at it in a battle in a basketball game since the tip-off.
Well, Tennessee in this second half has either gone to the foul line or gotten an offensive rebound and a putback. Obviously, Jerry Green has talked to them about attacking the Ole Miss pressure on the dribble and with the fast break.
Tennessee has been most effective when they can get out and use some of their athletic ability.
And that's interesting, Dave, because last year they were just the opposite. They were a walk-it-up team under Kevin O'Neal, pass the ball 10, 12, 15 times before they take a shot. They only averaged 57 points a game all of last year and finished 11 and 16.
Darby back in the basketball game. Smith will take a seat. Anthony Sewell also on the floor now for Tennessee. Isaiah Victor, a 6'9" freshman, wears number 44 for the Volunteers. He's also in the basketball game. He is down low working on Raheem Lockhart. White taking Sewell to the rack and is tripped up by Sewell. That's Sewell's 3rd personal foul, and Jerry Green is not a happy man right now. He continues to work on the officials. And Keith Carter was on the baseline when he received the pass back. It was a nice play conceptually. Just didn't work out when they put it into effect.
Yeah, I was going to say that was almost an outstanding play. The throw-in man steps in, nobody guarding him to try to get the layup, but the official caught him on the line.
Under 16 to play in the second half. Ole Miss fighting for their number 11 ranking. Although Rob Evans won't talk about it, you'll never hear him speak about rankings to his ball club or really to anybody unless you ask him, and he'll say, I don't talk about it.
Look at that. These players are just all over the floor.
Guys are banging up and down the floor. There is physical play going on. Darby whistled for. Actually, Ansu. It is Jozon Darby. It's whistled for a foul. These two teams are energized here in the second half. Tennessee by 1.
Physical presence of the Ole Miss Rebels and the Tennessee Vols. Just physical play. Watch here as you see Ansu Cisse trying to get the screen from Jozon Darby. Now watch Darby on the screen. He's literally going to just physically try to knock Torrey Harris off of his lane to get to Cisse, and that's the offensive foul called by Bruce Benedict, the official. Jozon Darby there, the senior out of Jackson. But just an indication of how tough and physical these two teams are playing here tonight.
Cisse with 4 points, averaging over 17 a night. Carter now working on Wharton. Bounce pass. Wharton was waiting for Sewell to get there. Finally did. Wharton gets it back. And he's fouled by White.
It's obvious that they like Brandon Wharton as the off guard because they started him at the point tonight, but they brought Anthony Sewell in, a former walk-on, and you see Wharton moving without the ball, coming off the screen, and then drawing the foul off penetration. But Anthony Sewell, youngster, has really come in and given Tennessee a nice lift from the point guard position.
White takes a seat with 3 personal fouls. Flanagan on the floor now. Wharton up top. The 3. Off the front of the eye. Volunteers.
Soft rims here in Knoxville. Brandon Wharton gets it up on the rim, and the soft touch got it to go down.
Rashard Lee has had a couple of those bounce around and go in for him as well. Doesn't like the home floor, Joe. The Volunteers are 8-1 this season. Darby thought about the 3. The fall away, no good. Carter with a great rebound over Wharton.
hustling is Keith Carter, and he gets the bucket. Carter now with 10.
Carter has had 2 games this year for Ole Miss where he's had 15 rebounds against Temple and 16 rebounds against LIU. That's pretty good numbers for an off guard.
Wharton, shot blocked by Lockhart. Up to Flanagan. 3-on-2. Darby, bounce pass down low. Cisse's 15-footer. Shot at 16. Tennessee pushing it up. Davis. Nowhere to go. Back to Wharton. Kicks it out to Sewell. It's a 2-point Tennessee lead with 15 on the shot clock. Inside they go to Harris. Darby stuck a hand in there, and there'll be 10 seconds on the shot clock. Good substitution as Lee checks back in with C.J. Black with 10 on the shot clock.
Dave, both of these teams have had a week off. Neither team played on Wednesday night when the SEC schedule allows, and they both look like they've had a week off. They're fresh. They're really into the game. The intensity level of this game is just incredible.
Darby whacked Wharton across the arm. Otherwise, he was gone. He had about 70 feet to go for the open layup, but he's whistled for the foul. And that'll be Darby's 3rd personal foul. And a fresh shot clock for Tennessee. Backdoor cut. Lee went right through his hands, got the own rebound, and is fouled by Lockhart.
That's a set play by Jerry Green on the out of bounds where they bring the ball in and reverse it and then set up the back door isolated on the weak side. Jerry Green got that from Dean Smith via Roy Williams right on down the coaching tree to Knoxville.
Somebody on that bench will no doubt take that with them.
Chris Ferguson, one of the assistants, or maybe Byron Samuels, who has been a head coach. Byron Samuels came from Hampton University, Division I program up in Virginia. He's now an assistant with Jerry Green here at Tennessee.
Lee gets the rebound on the missed free throws.
Great pass.
Davis. Vegas Davis gets the ball, and he has his first field goal and a total of 3 points.
And a great lesson for young players. Rashard Lee in traffic, bounce pass, the ball in the lane to Vegas Davis.
Flanagan's shot is blocked by C.J. Black, who is then hammered across the cheekbone. Let's go back to the other end and take a look at this nice pass.
The fans love it, but watch the bounce pass. Look at that. In traffic, got it cleanly to Vegas Davis. He finished, and the Knoxville crowd here is going crazy as the Vols lead the 11th-ranked Ole Miss Rebels.
Well, Jason Flanagan picks up the personal foul. That'll send Isaiah Victor, the freshman from Hopkinsville, Kentucky, to the free throw line. Victor 2 of 3 on the evening in that category. And I tell you what, once we hit about the 10-minute mark, and Tennessee is still holding up for a lead here, this crowd's going to start to believe that they could pull off this upset.
Well, the crowd has been a big factor already for Tennessee. I remember years ago in the old Stokely Athletic Complex, 12,000 plus really got the balls going then. This place is a lot bigger, 25,000, but probably got about 14, 15 in here tonight, and they're making a lot of noise.
Victor knocks it down. It's now a 6-point Tennessee lead. Ole Miss has only lost this season to Ball State in a shocker. They've since rattled off 8 straight wins. They've got their hands full here against Tennessee, which has lost 3 straight, losing 4 key players. Darby's 3 on the way, short. Rebound to Vegas Davis, fouled by Darby. Now the crowd's starting to believe. Long way to go, though. But this crowd is certainly going to help this Tennessee basketball team down the stretch.
The Tennessee defense has been very effective in the second half. And right there you see good help by C.J. Black, good pressure on the shot, and the rebounding of the Vols, again, has been the big key for them in this game.
And Darby picks up his 4th personal foul. Coach Evans will have to send him to the bench, but the good news is when you got a team like his, you can bring in a Keith Carter. That's not a bad substitution.
Misses the free throw. So Ole Miss dodges a bullet. Flanagan pushes it up the floor quickly. 12:40 to play. The 11th ranked Rebels down 6 in Knoxville. Cisse, who's been quiet, spins, goes baseline, fouled, and will go to the line for 2.
Well, is this a smart play for Ole Miss?
Cisse knocks it down. Tomorrow afternoon, it's women's basketball on SEC TV. I guess hopefully catch the flight and head over to Baton Rouge as Ole Miss takes on LSU. Van Chancellor and myself will have the action for you. Coverage begins at 2:30 with SEC Today. Tip-off set for 3 o'clock. Hope to see you then.
Be sure when you get to Baton Rouge, say hi to my mom, Doris Dean. Would you do that?
I will do that.
Okay.
What about Big Joe?
Oh, to heck with him. Just say hi to my mother.
All right. I don't think that's going to win you any brownie points. Good thing
it is with my mother.
Yeah. Tori Harris with the hook shot and soft rim once again.
I tell you what, when Tori Harris scores on a jump hook, you know things are going good for Tennessee.
42-36. Lockhart. He's fouled.
But the sign of a great team, Dave, which Ole Miss is, they come right back at you. They're not intimidated by the crowd. They're the 11th ranked team in the country. They've been well coached by that man right there, and they take it right inside and attack the goal and get Lockhart to the line.
That foul called against Vegas Davis is first, and Lockhart will step to the line, who brutally missed that one. Lockhart on the year, 35%. Came into the game 11 of 31. And tonight, Lockhart is 1 for 4. And Ole Miss called a timeout. Cisse knew he had no option but to go out of bounds. Called the 22nd timeout, and that's at this time of the game you want to go ahead and keep possession of the basketball. 36, 12:02 to play here from Knoxville. Field goal percentages on the night. Tennessee at 33%, Ole Miss at 33%. Behind the arc, they're both 3 of 10. So pretty equal right now, except in the free throw line. That's where Tennessee hit tonight from the free throw line is 13 of 26, 7 of 11 is Ole Miss. Well, folks, women's basketball tournament is just around the corner in the Southeastern Conference. You can catch all the greatest action in women's basketball. Tickets are now on sale for this SEC women's basketball tournament. There's a number on your screen, February 26th through March 1st at the Columbus Civic Center. Vegas Davis, under 12 minutes to play, will pull it back out for Tennessee. Ward, the leaner, no good. Lockhart the rebound. Cisse, spin move, goes baseline, his fall away, off the iron, no good. The follow-up, Lockhart. A couple of cracks at it on the offensive glass, and Lockhart was the party who finally put it in, and it's a 42-38 basketball game.
Well, just looking at that young man, you can see why he's in for Johnny Rogers. Big, strong, physical guy, crashing the offensive board for the Rebels.
Cisse has been cold, but if his team continues to work the glass, they could pull this out. They're down 4. Back Ole Miss, down by 4 on the road in the SEC. Weekend, the SEC, Joe, at home was fewer at home. 82-4 was the record. Excuse me, 82-8 was the record overall in the conference for the home team.
Well, you know the most common phrase in college basketball, don't you? It's tough to win on the road in this league. It doesn't matter what league you're in, it is tough to win on the road, and Ole Miss is finding that out here in Knoxville tonight.
Take a look at some of the rebounding stats. One of the reasons Tennessee has this 4-point lead, they are beating Mississippi to the glass, something that I thought would never happen tonight.
I didn't either. Ole Miss #1 in the league in rebound margin, and I guarantee you Jerry Green said, fellas, if we win the rebounding battle tonight, we'll win this game.
Ole Miss out-rebounds their opponents by over 10 a game, first in the SEC in that category. But tonight, their hands are full by a very active, energetic group from Knoxville.
Great defense by Ole Miss.
The give and go didn't work. Loose basketball. Lockhart falls on it in the paint. And a timeout by Ole Miss. And that'll be a timeout for the Rebels. 42-38 at the 11-minute mark of the second half. Our next SEC men's basketball game will come your way on January 31st as these Ole Miss Rebels will travel over to Auburn, 6 o'clock Eastern. Barry Booker and myself will have the action for you. That is 2 weeks from tonight, January 31st in Auburn.
Well, out of the last time out, Rob Evans got his team to turn up the defensive pressure to another level. That was the best possession that they've had defensively. They not only forced the turnover, didn't even allow Tennessee to get a shot, and he calls a 20 right out of that and says, all right, now we're going to come down and get a basket. So let's watch and see what Ole Miss does here offensively to try to close the gap.
There's a foul called against Wharton as Flanagan's on the floor, along with Lockhart, Smith, Cisse, and Carter.
Jerry Green won't like that foul. That's the 5th team foul for Tennessee. 2 more and Ole Miss goes into the bonus. Tennessee is already in the bonus since Ole Miss has committed 9 team fouls.
Cisse kicks it out to Flanagan. And a pushing foul called against Torrey Harris. Torrey Harris picks up the personal foul, and that'll be his 4th personal.
Torrey Harris is one of the few players in the league that has the size and the quickness to match up with Ansu Cisse, and he's done a great job tonight on Cisse.
Cisse pulls up. That shot way off the mark, but he gets his own rebound. Lockhart is fouled from behind by Brandon Wharton, and that'll be Brandon's 2nd personal foul.
One of the reasons you talk about size so much in basketball is because the bigger you are, the more you can contest shots on the defensive end, and that's why Torrey Harris has been so important as you see him go out to Tennessee. His 6'9" size has made it tough for Ansu Cisse to get good looks at the basket.
Lockhart, who's not had a fun time of it at the free throw line tonight. 1 of 4. Make that 1 of 5. Loose basketball. Black and Carter going for it. And that'll be Tennessee basketball. Arrow favors the white.
But you got to love the effort of Keith Carter. I tell you what, he's a scrapper. 6'4" junior out of Perryville, Arkansas. Outstanding player.
We approach the 10-minute mark here in the second half from Knoxville. Brandon Wharton brings it up. Off to Davis. To Black. Davis is 3. Davis from downtown. Davis now with 5 points. It's a 45-38 Tennessee lead. In the corner, being guarded by Black. Cisse takes him to the hole. Cisse's been looking for that shot all night, finally gets it.
Well, he's been trying it the whole second half against Torrey Harris. Torrey Harris is now on the bench, and Black doesn't have the same quickness that Harris does. Cisse took advantage of it that time.
An offensive foul called inside against Isaiah Victor. That'll be his 2nd personal foul.
Well, we watch Tennessee offensively as you see C.J. Black playing inside out. Best way to shoot a 3, get the pass from inside. Vegas Davis knocked it down. And just what I talked about a minute ago, Dave, the careless fouls the last couple of possessions by Tennessee has sent Ole Miss to the line, and they are now in the bonus, and that's a factor in this game.
Smith, first free throw of the evening is good. As a team, Ole Miss 8 of 13 from the line. Tennessee having a brutal time of it at 13 for 25, 52%.
Free throw shooting is going to be a big factor here the last 9:33 of the game, because both these teams play such physical defense.
That makes it a 3-point game again. Tennessee with the lead. Rashard Lee had a nice night tonight with a double-double, 10 points, 10 boards. Pulls up, carries the jumper, making it 12 points and 10 boards.
He's a good-looking shooter. I tell you, he is really coming to his own the last 4 or 5 games for Tennessee, and him a major scorer for them, over 17 points a game in the league.
And the turnover gives it back to Tennessee with 9:08 to play here in the second half. Wharton walks it up the court, one of the few times we've seen that tonight. Inside it goes. Black's right-handed shot, too strong. That'll be Ole Miss basketball as Bruce Benedict makes the call on the baseline. Former Atlanta Brave catcher working here in the SEC.
Watch the young man out of Durham, North Carolina, off the left-hand dribble. Watch him get up high on the jumper. Good look at the basket at 6'6". Knocks it down.
47-42. Carter takes lead. Nice dribble. Goes up high. Rob Evans, one of the goaltend, didn't get it. But count the bucket by Ansu Cisse.
And the basket. Let's see it again. I think that's definitely a goaltend. I don't think Gerald Boudreaux had a good angle on it from the other side of the floor.
Nonetheless, Cisse will try to cap off a three-point play, make this a two-point game, and he does. Cisse now with 11 points, 3 of 10 from the floor, and he's a perfect 5 of 5 from the free throw line. He has 6 rebounds and 2 assists.
Sign of a champion. Ole Miss not playing particularly well tonight, but hanging around on the road.
Davis picks up the loose basketball. No good. Couple of chances. Didn't go down for the Volunteers. Rebound to Johnny Rogers.
I tell you what, you better be a man when you go in that lane tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
That's why I'm over here, Joe. That'll be Tennessee basketball as Ole Miss turns it over again for the 15th time tonight. And Torrey Harris back in the basketball game. And Lee will take a breather for a moment. Or no, he won't. Actually, he'll replace Isaiah Victor, who will sit down. The 6'9" freshman will sit down next to Coach Green, who's done a fantastic job piecing together a team tonight. Remember, they only got 9 players going tonight.
Only 9 players, and really only 6 guys that have played a lot before tonight.
And a foul underneath against C.J. Black. That'll be Black's 3rd personal foul.
Dave, the officials could have called about 3 fouls before the one they called. There's just a lot of pushing, shoving, grabbing going on away from the ball. And they finally called it on Johnny Rogers, I believe.
Yeah, Johnny Rogers picked up the foul. That'll send C.J. to the free throw line. Black will be trying to add to his 10-point total, and he does. He now has 11 to go along with 7 rebounds. And Jerry Green has done a marvelous job when you consider Aaron Green is out of the game, Tony Harris is out of the game, Charles Hathaway, and Deshae Jones. 4 guys who mean a lot to this basketball team. But nonetheless, the Volunteers lead Ole Miss by 4 at home. Back with more in a moment. Leads Ole Miss 49-45, 7:56 to play in the second half, and it has been a tough time of it here in Knoxville for Jerry Green with the number of injuries that he has had to endure this year. Perhaps the biggest recently is the stress fracture to the thigh of that man, Tony Harris, the all-world freshman.
Well, many college coaches around the country, Dave, felt like Tony Harris was the best point guard coming out of high school basketball last year. Tennessee signed him. Jerry Green got him here, and he's having a good freshman year, but unfortunately has that stress fracture in his femur bone.
Flanagan running the shows with his Rebel team. Cisse, the fall away. That almost went down. Black comes away with it, nearly fell out of bounds, but gets it to Vegas Davis.
And again, credit Torrey Harris, number 40, doing a nice job defensively on Ansu Cisse.
Black turns around off the glass. No good. Probably the easiest look he's had it all night.
You read my mind, partner. You read my mind.
Cisse kicks it out to Carter. That's a 2. Rebound to Vegas Davis, who kicks it out to Rashard Lee. Pulls up from 15 off the front of the iron, tried to get the rebound, and he'll be whistled for a personal foul, and that'll be Lee's 2nd foul.
Jerry Green clapping right there. I like that because Rashard Lee had a nice look at the basket, hustling after his rebound. You want to applaud those kind of mistakes.
Folks, this is shocking that Ole Miss only has 45 points here tonight. You give a lot of credit to that man's defense. But Ole Miss came in averaging 85.5 points a basketball game. We got 7 minutes left to play here in the second half, and this team is well under their average. Shooting on the night is just 34%. That is 15% lower than their season total of 49%, which is second best in the SEC. As Cisse knocks down the free throw for point number 12 for the soon-to-be NBA star. I can say that, right? NBA, Ansu?
I don't think there's any question about it. You're really going out on a limb there, Dave.
Well, I'm risky in what I say.
About Cisse?
Right. 49-46, 6:50 to play in the second half. Michael White back in the game for Ole Miss. Flanagan goes to the bench. Black takes it right inside against Cisse and Rogers. Wait to see who that was on. Ansu Cisse picks up the personal foul, his third.
Well, you know that Tennessee, as long as Ole Miss is not going to double team, they're going to attack with their best and strongest inside player, and that guy is C.J. Black.
C.J. Black misses his first free throw of the night. He was a perfect 8 of 8 until then. Tennessee has been to the line. This will make 29 times tonight to 17 for Ole Miss. Black knocks down 1 of 2. He has 13 points and 9 boards. Tennessee has clung to this 4-point lead for most of the second half. They led by 1 at the break. White pulls up for 3. Nobody expected it, including me, and all he did was bury it.
He doesn't shoot very often, but Rob Evans calls him the best shooter on the Ole Miss team.
Inside the long enough to slam it. C.J. Black, who has 15 now.
Again, they continue to isolate him down low. Ole Miss throwing single coverage at him, and there's not anybody inside right now for Ole Miss that can handle C.J. Black.
Cisse inside. Kicks it off down low. Shot blocked by Black. Elbows abound, no whistle. Back come the Volunteers. Lee really was looking for the 3, but Wharton will say, I'll take it now, make it. Brandon Wharton knocks it down. He has 10. The Vols lead the Rebs 55-49 with 5:30 to play in the second half. Cisse's 3. Off the glass, Ansu Cisse answers.
We got a barn burner in Knoxville, Dave Neal. This is awesome.
It's a 3-point Volunteer lead. The 11th ranked Rebels hanging in there.
Crowd gets quiet. This is great. This is college basketball at its best.
12 on the shot clock. Wharton pulls up from the foul line. Wharton now with 13.
He's a junior out of Overton High School, Nashville, Tennessee.
Cisse misses, rebound to Smith. He hangs in the air. Rogers with a rebound. No good. Cisse again. He gets hacked hard. And it looks like we got to scrap it. We do. Cisse and Torrey Harris going at it.
Good job.
Coaches keeping their players on the bench.
Good job by both benches. You come off the bench in this situation, you're suspended the next game. Rob Evans talking to Torrey Harris right there, trying to calm him down. Nice piece of sportsmanship both ways right there by Rob Evans and Torrey Harris. Torrey Harris is from Piney Woods, Mississippi, just up the road, really out of Sardis, Mississippi, just up the road from Oxford. And that's unfortunate right there, Dave, because both these teams have played so hard, but as we've mentioned, it's been a very physical game, a lot of pushing and shoving. Let's see if we can see what happened.
Torrey Harris, by the way, just fouled out of the basketball game.
Yeah, Cisse didn't like the foul. It was a hard foul by Torrey Harris. I don't think anything intentional there by Harris. Just a hard foul in the nature of this game.
Actually, it was Michael White that got down on the floor with Torrey Harris. Watch White 22 in the bottom of your screen. Watch him come into the picture.
Right. Michael White right there is trying to keep Torrey Harris away from his teammate Ansu Sese. I know it doesn't look good, but he's trying to break up that fight.
That's exactly what he did. He got him in a bear hug, so
right.
Harris couldn't get up.
And Harris started kind of swinging it at Michael White.
So White's down there risking his life and limb because he figures it might come back around when Cese's in the NBA someday. But it was a nice play. Michael White saw there was potential problem, jumped in there. Torrey Harris picked up the personal foul on Cese, and that was 5 personal fouls. So right now the officials are sorting things out. I think Rob Evans in the middle of that, I'll check this, but I think he might have got a technical foul in the middle of all that.
We'll have to watch that. Gerald Boudreau there talking to Jerry Green. They're going to sort this out. They'll explain their ruling to both coaches. Yeah, and this is a good piece of officiating here by Gerald Boudreau. Calmly going to both coaches, explaining the situation. Now, the fear both coaches have right now, Dave, is that if a player is kicked out of a game for fighting, he's suspended for the next game. I'm almost positive that's the SEC rule. So we'll have to see what the ruling is right here.
We take another look at it. Gerald Boudreau coming over to see if we might be able to back that up in the truck. Can we back that up in the truck and give them one more look at it?
Right.
Gerald Boudreau, one of the officials, stops by our table right now. Hopefully we can re-rack that and give them another look.
Okay, good.
And Gerald, just wait a second. We'll get that rolling right for you in a matter of moments as Jerry Green takes a look at his troops. He doesn't have many numbers to begin with, but here we go. Cese with the offensive rebound and then gets hacked hard by Torrey Harris. But not in your screen right now will be Michael White, who will come in, sees potential problem, and just basically lays on top of Torrey Harris to keep him from fighting.
And I think Michael White is just trying to break up the fight. Of course, Harris is laying on the floor, so it doesn't look that way. But it looked like they're trying to, both teams are trying to break it up between Harris and Cese.
If we got another look, we got one more look at it. And Gerald Boudreau heads off. Think he saw enough?
Well, again, this is good officiating by Gerald Boudreau, Dave, because there's a lot at stake here. If he kicks, for example, Cese and Torrey Harris out of this basketball game, neither player will be able to play in the next game if they're kicked out for fighting. So he wants to make sure he makes the right call here before issuing his ruling.
Well, Cese now will step to the line for some free throws. He was fouled for trying to get the offensive putback, which started this whole mess.
Well, it looks like, we haven't heard the ruling, but it looks like they're going to call a double technical on each player and leave those players into the game. And Dave, I think that's a good call, and I want to take my hat off to Gerald Boudreau, the official, for coming over here to our table, checking the replay, and making a good, educated decision that is not going to adversely affect either team.
Brandon Ward now steps to the line to make these free throws. If he makes this one, he hits the 1,000-point club here at the University of Tennessee, and he has done it. 1,000 points for Brandon Ward. Kind of not the, I don't think it's the way that he really wanted to get to 1,000 points, but nonetheless, congratulations to Brandon Wharton, the junior. Had a nice career here at Tennessee, and will certainly expand on that. So, Joe, this game has been physical from the outset. Now emotions are high. We've got 4:20 left to play here in the second half. Who does this benefit?
Well, obviously Tennessee benefits right now.
In a big way when you can answer like that. Isaiah Victor will try to complete a three-point play.
Tennessee has really done a good job of taking the ball inside in this game to Black, and in this case, Isaiah Victor. And again, without beating a dead horse, Dave, without Anthony Boone in the lineup for Ole Miss, they're just not as tough defensively in that low post.
Jason Smith with the personal foul. The crowd on their feet. It's an 8-point Volunteer lead. The Vols have lost 3 straight games, all in the SEC. They come here to face the 11th-ranked Rebels and have not backed down. White, guarded by Ward. Carter, guarded by Lee. Each possession is a big one at this point. White nearly turned it over. The long 3 as the shot clock winds down. No good. Violation. Tennessee basketball. Another good defensive stand by the Vols.
And that's a reflection of the kind of defense that Tennessee has played all night, and the reason that they take this 8-point lead to the timeout.
Ole Miss has their work cut out. Jerry Green's club loving it so far, up by 8. See hoops at its finest right now. The 11th-ranked Rebels on the road have their hands full, down 8. Time running out. 3:35 to go in the second half.
Dave, I want to give a lot of credit again to that man right there in the striped shirt, Gerald Boudreaux, the lead official here tonight, did not overreact when the altercation came about between Cisse and Torrey Harris. Calmed everybody down, came over here to our table, looked at the replay, and then made a good, sound decision. The double technical did not kick anybody out of the game, which would have caused those young men to miss the next SEC contest. I just thought an outstanding piece of officiating by Gerald Boudreaux.
And along those lines, as we have a tie-up on the sideline, I will tip my hat to Michael White.
Yes,
a very savvy, smart play. Jumped on top of Tony Harris so that he wouldn't be able to do any damage, and everybody walked away. A couple of free throws at both ends, and now we're back playing ball with 3:30 to go. Ole Miss, possession arrow, favored them, so they have the basketball. White pulls up, thought he got hit on the arm, starts yelling at Gerald Boudreaux. And White now is officially frustrated, I think.
No question about it. Michael White thought he got fouled in that previous shot, and it looked like from our vantage point that he did. Let's see if we can see it. Well, now here's the blocking foul right there out front, reaching for the ball. Michael White, a junior out of New Orleans, Louisiana, a competitor. Rob Evans loves him, but he's had a tough night here in Knoxville.
Brandon Wharton and White have locked horns since the tip-off tonight. They both instigated 5-second calls in the opening minute of this basketball game. Brandon Wharton tonight, as you see his numbers from the line. After he hit 1,000, put a lid on that rim. Hit a couple of free throws a minute ago to give him 1,000 points for his career at Tennessee. He doesn't care about that right now as this team's up by 8. Carter's 3 on the way off the iron. Rebound to Isaiah Victor.
Carter, excuse me, Dave. I was going to say Carter has struggled all night as well from the outside. But credit the Tennessee defense. They have really gone after the Ole Miss shooters here with a vengeance.
Man-to-man defense by Ole Miss. White looked over at Bruce Benedict, open for the 5-second call. He talks to him right now. He says, hey, start that count a little sooner.
Yeah, but credit Keith Carter. Hasn't shot well. 0 for 5 from Trey Land tonight, but he still plays good defense. He's had a lot of steals. He's had big rebounds for Ole Miss. And that's the thing Rob Evans teaches his players so well, that scoring isn't the most important thing in the game. Being a good all-around player.
Black in the paint, misses, the follow no good, and a whistle. And a foul called against Vegas Davis of Tennessee. That'll be his second personal foul. And we're both in the bonus here. That'll be personal foul. That'll send him to the line. Jason Smith on the night is 2 of 2. 34th free throw attempts for Tennessee tonight, 19 for Ole Miss. Dave Neal, Joe Dean coming to you from Knoxville, Tennessee, home of the Volunteers, who are 10-3. The Rebels 12-1, 11th ranked in the country, trailing 62-55, 2:34 to go in the second half. Glad you could join us for SEC basketball on SEC TV. It has been a gutsy performance by the Volunteers, to say the least. Rashard Lee pulls up. Cisse got a piece of that. Flanagan had it knocked away. Pushed it up the floor quickly. Carter looking for his first three of the game. Won't get it. 0 for 6 now. Davis pushing it up. Off to Lee. He rises off the glass.
Tennessee has done a great job tonight of pushing that ball in transition.
Cisse no good. 2 minutes left to play. And a foul by Keith Carter, and Rob Evans quickly talks to Carter, who was 0 for 6 from behind the line.
Well, here you see it, beautiful 3-on-1. The pass by Davis, the finish by Rashard Lee, and the Volunteers running here in Thompson Bowling Arena to the thrill of about 15,000.
Lee now with 14 points. He got this whole thing started. Remember, out of the gates, Tennessee down 12-2, couldn't buy a bucket. Well, it started the game 1 for 9 from the floor. Then Rashard Lee knocked down a couple of threes, and Tennessee started getting their momentum, and they went into halftime up by 1, and they've carried that momentum here in the second half. And a 22nd timeout called by Tennessee with 1:57 to play, up by 8.
Well, the thing Jerry Green has been able to get team tonight is to counteract the Ole Miss pressure defense by pushing the ball in transition to create easy opportunities and get to the glass. Tennessee has beaten Ole Miss tonight on the boards, and that has been a big factor in their 8-point margin at this point in the game.
41-38 on the glass. Tennessee with the advantage. A shocking number. Not as shocking, though, Joe, as what I had a couple of weeks ago up in Lexington when Kentucky out-rebounded Vanderbilt. I think it was 59-17, and just dominated the glass as well. That was shocking. This is right up there in terms of that shocking, simply because Ole Miss had been dominating the glass every game this year. Now they're fighting for their lives. Under 2 to play, down 9. The long-range 3 from Jozon Darby, who knocks down the 3. Darby now with 4 threes on the game for a total of 11 points.
That silenced that crowd, but here comes Victor attacking the goal. And I can't emphasize that enough. That's been the key for Tennessee, especially against full-court pressure. When you get it in the open court, take it to the basket. You'll either create an offensive rebound for your teammate, or you'll get yourself to the foul line. Victor will shoot 2 free throws.
Victor misses that with 1:36 to go, and a timeout by Ole Miss. Rob Evans. Club will talk things over. His team is up by 6. Come back, have the final 1:36 from Knoxville in a moment. Jozon Darby is 4 of 6 from behind the arc for 14 points. This was a big 3 to pull his Rebels to within 6 points.
And that's what you expect from your Super 6 man, the senior out of Jackson, Mississippi, Jozon Darby, getting his team fired up.
Victor knocks down the free throw. He has 12. It's now a 7-point game, 1:30 to play. Darby looking for the 3, an awkward off-balance 3, nearly rolled in. Cantrell tried to get the rebound, but he's hacked on the side. See if Keith Carter will pick that up. Carter already has 3 personals. That'll be his 4th. This will be a free throw shooting contest down the stretch for this Tennessee ball club, which has been to the line. This will be free throw number 40. Imagine what they could have done had they made some of these free throws. They are 22 of 40 from the charity stripe tonight.
Well, that's amazing that they've been there 40 times, and that's an indication of their attacking style of offense, which has helped them get this 9-point lead against Ole Miss.
Cantrell makes the 3. John Cantrell, the junior out of Germantown, makes it a 6-point basketball game, and a foul against Ole Miss, and that'll send Wharton to the free throw line. Flanagan picks up the personal foul. His third.
And a good look at the head man at Tennessee. 4 years an assistant at Kansas under Roy Williams. 9 years he was the head coach at UNC Asheville, but he cut his teeth in big-time basketball at Oregon, Dave. He took the Oregon Ducks to their first NCAA tournament in 34 years, and that's what got the attention of Doug Dickey here at the University of Tennessee. And Jerry Green says, in essence, he is back home here in the Southeast.
Wharton cans the free throws. It's an 8-point game again. Cantrell takes it inside. Away by Vegas Davis. Cisse strong to the glass. Davis got a piece of that. Under a minute to play. And Wharton is fouled again. This one on Keith Carter, and that'll do it. That is 5 fouls for Keith Carter. But let's go back to that block by Vegas Davis on John Cantrell.
Vegas Davis at 6'3" is probably the best leaper for Tennessee. Take a look at him. He was a center in high school. Plays the off guard now for the Volunteers. And that kind of defense has given Tennessee a possible big upset here tonight in SEC play against Ole Miss.
Wharton will step to the free throw line. Carter 5 of 17 from the floor, 0 for 6 behind the arc, just 2 points tonight. Not the kind of night we expected out of Keith Carter.
Definitely not. He's had some big games this year for Ole Miss, but just didn't have the shooting out tonight, especially from three-point land, but played very hard. He truly is an all-SEC caliber player.
Wharton now at 20. Cisse has to force the shot. He gets fouled by Victor with 50.9 seconds to play, a 10-point game. And Cisse will step to the free throw line, something you want. Clock stops. Cisse, a pretty good foul shooter.
Jerry Green's defense has been the story tonight, Dave. The last 3 games in the SEC, they've given up 80 to Vanderbilt, 74 to Auburn, and 83 to Florida. Tonight, against the #1 offensive team in the SEC, they've held the Ole Miss Rebels to only 62 points. Great effort tonight by Tennessee and Coach Jerry Green and his staff.
Cisse, 8 of 10 from the line, 4 of 15 from the field. He has a total of 17 points, make that 18, and it's a 9-point game, 50 seconds to play. Lee pinned in the corner. He's fouled by Cisse. That'll be Cisse's 4th personal foul.
We mentioned earlier, Dave, this is a big win for Tennessee because after tonight they have to play at 14th ranked South Carolina next Wednesday and at 22nd ranked Arkansas next Saturday. So no rest for the weary in the SEC, especially when you have the kind of injury situation that Tennessee has.
Rashard Lee has not been shy from the field today. He's thrown it up there 17 times, made 6 of them from the line. He struggled somewhat. 0 for 5. I'd say that's a struggle. He makes one of 6. 15 for Rashard. Has 10 boards as well. C.J. Black with 15 and 11. Cisse pump fake. Probably should have gone up with it, but he got fouled. Whoa.
I tell you what, that was a beautiful move right there off the half.
Gutted it out. Although Ole Miss isn't without their share of injuries, with Chris Oney back at Oxford, as Lee will take it in and lay it off the glass and miss it. And he'll step to the free throw line as Isaiah Victor will. Cantrell picks up the personal foul, but Ole Miss obviously without Anthony Boone tonight, and would have defended C.J. Black a lot better in the post. Out of Kentucky. Darby in the corner. Loose basketball. It'll be Ole Miss ball with 23.6 seconds left. A 10-point Tennessee lead. The crowd sensing the big upset.
Both undefeated teams in the Western Division have lost today. Arkansas lost in overtime at Kentucky, and now Ole Miss, the other undefeated team in the West, will go down to Tennessee from the East. The crowd says overrated. I totally disagree with that. I think Ole Miss is a heck of a basketball team.
Lee off the glass. Rashard Lee now with 17. He has his SEC average. Hunter Carpenter from behind the arc. No good. Time is expiring, but a foul first on Cisse. And if that's on Ansu Cisse, that'll do it. 20 points, 5 offensive boards, 8 total, and 2 assists.
But the key defensively, as far as Tennessee is concerned, against Ansu Cisse, 4 of 15 from the field. And that's what you want to do to a great player. You know he's going to get his points. You know he's going to hurt you, but force him to have to work for everything he's gotten. And Tennessee's done that tonight to Cisse.
Black misses the free throw. CJ, 9 of 11 from the stripe tonight. This has been a 94 feet of defense. Gets a nice standing ovation as he heads to the sidelines. And Black misses both free throws. Loose basketball. Hunter Carpenter lays it in off the glass for the final points of the game. But folks, we have witnessed an upset in the SEC. Tennessee, depleted with injuries, beats the 11th ranked team in the country 77-67 in Knoxville as Ole Miss falls for the first time in SEC play. Our final score 77-67. Our next men's game comes to you from Auburn 2 weeks from tonight. This same Rebel Club will travel over to face Cliff Ellis' team. Fox Sports News is at 10 o'clock tonight.
January 6th.